Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 SU3 Beta. After my last couple videos about it, I've even seen comments where they're like, hype, and that's fine, it kind of is, and but there's a reason for it. Now, a lot of you are asking, how fast is it actually operating? How much better is it? How easy is it to set up the controls? How good is it working in VR? So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to do all of it. I have set up myself here on the desk, and we're going to set up the controls for the very first time. You guys are going to get to see how that all works. We're going to enter VR for the first time. I have yet to set any VR settings. I cleared everything out of Sim Update 3 Beta for 2024. So everything that you guys are going to see is for the first time only, and you're going to get to see it in action. So let's get started. If you are interested in any of my tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. Okay, so as I said, everything is for the first time. We're going to set up the Bravo throttle quadrant that we have sitting right here. We're going to set up the Virpil Cadet Aeromax. This is, by the way, this is a perfect flight stick if you're someone who just wants an all-in-one. It's got a nice little throttle on it. It's got a bunch of different buttons and hats. This thing is fantastic for doing like what you're doing here, what I'm doing here. If you just need something you can fly with occasionally and then put it off to the side. Maybe you have a laptop, you want to be able to be out in the living room with the family hanging out, but you also want to fly because you don't want to see the boring show that's on television. Perfect solution. It's even got the twist grip for your rudder pedals. So anyway, digress. Watch my review on this fantastic piece of equipment. So we're going to set up our controls. Now I am going to be using my Virpil Ace rudder pedals that are under the desk here for the rudder pedals. Always prefer pedals when possible. And then we're also going to be going into the Pimax Crystal Light, which is working fantastic in SU3. So we're going to do it all from the start. I cleared all my settings out. Everything is just as if you had just installed the sim today. So let's get started. What we're going to do here is I'm going to close my little picture background here. I'm going to turn on the display capture so you guys may see mice moving, things like that. Oh, it's actually doing pretty good. Cool. So you guys, I have a 5120 by 1440p monitor. So when Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 first launches on the screen, you're probably only going to see part of it. But the idea is that I can show you how fast it's switching to the desktop or to the dashboard. Okay, so you may not be able to see all of the screen. It may look a little goofy, but you'll understand what I'm trying to do here. And then once it loads into the sim, I'll switch it down so that way you guys can see the proper aspect. So hitting the launch button in 3, 2, 1. There it is. There it is. And I'm going to keep my hands back and just enjoy my monster. This part always takes 11 seconds. I don't know why. It's like, oh, well, we're to 13 this time. Watch it make a liar out of me. It's just going to go like absolute crap now. That part actually is taking a while. Why is that taking so long? I really hope I didn't pick... Oh, there it goes. I was like, did I just pick like the worst day to do it? Oh, and it didn't stretch to the full screen. That's interesting. Normally it does. You know what, though? Those are disconnected right now, and I wonder if that's why. So, it's still a little off, though. Let me get my big fat head down. He shrinks. Working our way through. All right, now we're at the loading page. I know you guys can only see part of that. That's okay. We're at 17%. Moving through the 20s. Up to 50. Holding at 50 for a second. Nope, now we're at 53. Moving our way through, and this part usually it just bounces. 85, 90, and we're there. That fast. All right, let me fix this, though, so that way you guys can see everything. On my display capture, you guys are going to see some weird stuff here. Actually, from here, let's do this. We're going to turn the display capture off now, and we're just going to go straight to Sim and Game. So that way you guys can see that instead. That'll work better. Kick that off for now. And let's see here. OBS has been a real pain in the ass lately, and I don't know why. You know what? We'll go back to the display capture because I don't feel like fighting with it at the moment. OBS is just doing some goofy stuff to me lately, and it's driving me absolutely crazy. So you guys are going to see some craziness here. So here we go. I need to move this way out because I need to find the bounds to the monitor. There we go. There it is. I'm just looking for that corner right there. There it is. That's good enough. All right. You get out of the way. Okay. There. We'll just drag that. Oh, it's like nothing ever happened. Okay. So here we go. So now let's start setting up some controls here. I usually, this is just my personal preference. I pick my plane, then I set up my controls. It's just how I've always done it. Even in the old sim in 2020. Oh no, I called it the old sim. My 2020. Let's see, we're going to fly something simple today. We're not going to do anything crazy. I guess we can stick with the Cessna. I guess that makes sense. Let's just go save him back. And let's see here. What do we want to fly? Let's, I don't know. Hadn't really thought that far. Let's go check out somewhere maybe down in Florida. Let's see what all them Florida folks are doing today. No, I don't want to set that as my departure. Get real. What do we got? What do you guys think here? What's this? Page Field? What's Page Field? I don't think I've ever been to Page Field. Okay, we're going to go to Page Field because I've never been to Page Field. Here we go. And that looks like a great spot to put a plane. Here we go. Set departure. Start flight. I've never, ever been here. Now, mind you, I am on the Gigablast speed for my cable provider, so. And I usually hit a little bit over a gig. Now, keep in mind, it's loading Florida for the first time, or at least, well, the surrounding region of where I'm going. Not bad. That was less than a minute. I don't even think we hit 30 seconds. Whoa! Oh, I know why. These are the other monitors. But we're going to do it anyway. So, let's go back. Let's go to settings. Let's go to controls. It has a default profile. We still need a bind for my flight stick. At least I think we do. Okay, yeah. The flight stick is not bound. Alright, so let's go through that. Settings. Controls. There's the Aeromax. Find flight control services, primary flight control services, and let's start working on this. Let's see here. We got well, let's see here. That's rudder axis. I don't want those yet. Where's aileron axis? There they are. Seems to work. Elevator axis, side by side. How about that? They did move that. That didn't used to be like that. You used to have to go hunting for it. Now let's find my rudder pedals. Come here. All right. So that's going to be VPC rudder pedals. There we go. Hit OK. We need our toe brakes. Is that secondary? I never use the in-game GUI, so you guys have to bear with me for a second. But you guys, hopefully you guys are seeing how much faster it is responding, though. Like, it's not near what it used to be. Okay, I feel like that should be... No, I don't want to search by input. I want to search by name. Left brake axis. Oh, they're on the brake axis now. Okay. All right. That's it. Save. Back. Like, that was quick. And it wasn't clunky. It didn't work all stupid. Although we have to reverse that axis. And let's see what the toe brakes are doing. Would you go away? Toe brakes are good. Okay. But let's go in and reverse the rudder axis. So again, moving very, very nicely. Very nicely. There's still some things that they need to tweak, but this is so much faster, at least, than what it used to be. Flight control surfaces, primary surfaces. Rudder axis settings, I believe, is where we have to go. Set inverted axis. Go back. And that's it. I mean, that's how it should be. That's how it should have been all along. There we go. All right, we have everything. Now, I do need to go into some graphics settings because there's one thing that's on that I absolutely hate, and it's motion blur. Motion blur, I think, is just stupid. I know what its purpose is. Why the hell are we set to such a low resolution? We have things on ultra and then other things on medium. But anyway, motion blur. Yeah, no, get off. Absolutely not. Motion blur is dumb. Anyway, save. That's it. That's it. We're golden. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the Pimax Crystal Light. Give me just a minute here, and we'll be back with you guys. And that's because I have to make sure that OBS is going to behave and actually record the Crystal Light. So, bear with me. All right. So here we are, walking around. Absolutely freaking fantastic. Show you guys the VR settings when we get in the cockpit, but we're going to try this. My first time doing the pre-flight. Whoa, that's a little weird. Very, very smooth. It's just weird. This is my first time actually doing this in VR, man. The last time I ever tried this, it was just absolute garbage. I hope it's looking right on you guys' screen. So far for me, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, there we go. And the Pimax Crystal Light is the best. I'm sorry, it's the best in the biz. All right. So, let's try to fly this bird. Okay, feels good. Which one of you is my mixture set to? There it is. Mixture set to full rich. Beacon light. Where's my nav light? Yep, nav lights. Fuel's on. Okay. Let's see here. Oops, wrong button. Alright. Those rolling. How is B the flaps? Microsoft really, Asobo? Oh my gosh. What does B have to do with flaps? Alright. And guys, don't feel bad. I would have to lean in to look at the altimeter in real life. I can promise you that. Although I don't like that it's set to hectopascals instead of barometric. Like, bro, I'm in the United States, man. Anyway, whatever. We're going to wing it. We're interested in the performance, so let's fly it. All right, so we have our avionics turned on. Let's go ahead and let it rip. Power up some throttle here. That was a good start. Beautiful. All right, we're just going to roll for it, man. Make sure flight controls are free and correct. Make sure that they're actually sitting on the desk. That would be helpful. Let me move this. The stupid mouse is in my way. There we go. All right, let's rock and roll. This is probably one of my biggest complaints about MSFS in VR is the mouse interaction. It's really annoying. All right, let's go check out Florida. This is smooth as butter. Smooth as butter. Absolutely flawless. Wonderful experience. Don't mind me. I'm lifting the camera up for a second. There you go. I wanted you guys to be able to see my ugly face. Alright. Pimax Crystal Light, guys. The best. The best bang for your buck all around. If you don't want the most expensive, you don't want the cheapest, you want very high fidelity imagery, you want a fantastic performance. Keep in mind that Pimax has been working directly with Asobo to maximize the performance of this headset in this simulator. So, I mean, you can't go wrong. But this is the best experience that I have had in VR in this simulator to date, by far. And it's overperforming Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. It really is. I am able to very easily, freely look. No stuttering. No lag. Rapid movements. No jolting. Sorry, that's probably making most of you guys sick with me doing that. I promise from here on out I'll usually keep my head movements pretty slow. So you guys shouldn't be able to get a lot of the jolting and jittering now. Those toe brakes were a little less responsive than I was expecting. I should have stopped that sooner. I never turned my taxi light on. Shame on me. Alright, there's that. Strobe light. We're doing a no flaps takeoff today. Runway's clear, approach is clear. We're just going to do a rolling takeoff. Controls. Looking good. We're out of here. Airspeed alive. There's 40 knots. 50 knots. And she's already flying. Beautiful. They finally did it, you guys. It's flawless. Do you remember, for those of you who fly VR often, do you remember when, one of the very common things that would happen would be as you rotated and you made the transition from ground to flight, you would run into some problems, right? You'd usually get some sort of stuttering or some sort of odd behavior, if even just for a moment. That was smooth as glass the whole way through. Florida is obviously a very heavily populated area, dense with vegetation. And I even have the window scratches on, which many may or may not be aware of, but the window scratches have actually been known to cause FPS losses, especially in virtual reality. That's me, I'm kicking the rudder, sorry guys. I can actually come off the rudder, to be honest. The performance is perfect. Completely perfect. And I know many will also make the argument, I have made the same argument myself, that we're also in a default Cessna 172. That's true. But I'm also staying very low to the ground in a very heavily densely populated area. Perfect. Like, I'm astonished. go around for the landing and see how virtual reality handles it on the transition back to the ground. And the reason why that's actually a critical thing to think about when you're testing is because as far as the simulation, the computer, if you will, is concerned, those are two different phases of operation. It's not some seamless thing. There are different computations that take place from your CPU and GPU side of things as the simulator transitions between, if you will, a flight mode and a ground mode. Let's see if I can do this without crashing. I'm trying to switch to the right tank. I should have just gone to center, but there we go. Oh. Well, mission achieved. I did it without crashing. It's a start. Soon that won't be an issue. I'm making my own button box for the desk. And for the rig, actually. So it's going to have toggle switches, fuel tank selector. Wait till you guys see that. That's going to be cool. And it's going to be a DIY project. You guys will be able to grab it, all the required materials, etc. from Patreon. Just trying to find new ways of engaging it and making supporting my channel worth it to you guys. So hopefully you guys will be excited about that. It's just flawless. The performance is it's flawless. And by the way, I haven't mentioned it yet. Stats for my machine are down in the description, but we're on an RTX 4080, FYI. And when we land, I will show you the VR settings. But it looks gorgeous. It's flawless. Let's get into the flaps arc. Oh. All right, let's make our turn to base. Starting a descent, trying to keep us right about 500 feet a minute. I'm just going to keep coming around to final. Let's get mixture back to full rich. No, no, watch that descent rate. Don't get too low. I guess I didn't need to complete that turn all the way through. I thought I did. I thought I turned a little too close, but I didn't. I think I was actually right where I needed to be for once, and that threw me off. Some flaps. Now we're going to go for our notorious space shuttle landing. Oh, there's another aircraft on the ground. Yeah, get going, bud. Oof. Getting drafty over here. Crabbing in a bit. That was a nasty crosswind. That's right. Nice and easy. That. There we go. And that nosewheel didn't want to respond. Follow this guy in. It's perfect. Especially during taxi. That's when I usually notice the most stutters, jolting, whatever. And it's perfect. I'm blown away. So, testing parameters were fresh start, no setting changes, literally just launched it in VR. It's set to high end is the preset, you guys. It is using NVIDIA DLSS. RTX 4080. What is happening there, bud? But fresh out of the box configuration. The Pimax Crystal, for example, the Crystal Light is at completely default configuration. I changed nothing. So if you were to buy the Pimax Crystal, unbox it, download the software, plug it in, this is what you'd be getting on an RTX 4080, more or less. Right? Remember, everybody's experience is different, right? But more or less. All right. Let's set that parking brake. Okay. What? Oh, I bumped the mouse. That's what that was. All right. Mixture off. All right, so let's chat. So with Sim Update 3 Beta, you have the faster load time by a lot, a much smoother navigation to the settings and controls. You guys saw it. You guys saw how fast it was responding, how responsive it was in general. An incredibly immersive and incredibly enhanced VR experience at pretty damn high settings. Let's check them out now. So go into settings. I mean, dude, that is fast. Like, I can't. And just in case anyone's calling me a hyper or whatever, I have been bashing 2024 for probably the last 3 months. Not bashing, but I have literally stayed away from it and have mentioned multiple times that I would not be going to 2024 anytime soon. So just tossing that out there. I have said it in 100 videos at this point. So here are the VR settings. I didn't touch anything down below here. Nothing. I just left it as is. So I set it to high end. Low latencies on, depth, world scaling, blah, blah, blah. And there he goes. Anti-aliasing. And there's the DLSS. Set it to quality, so it's not even set to performance. Foveated rendering. Again, keep in mind this is from Pimax. So that's one of the other benefits, is that foveated rendering is being given in 2024 because of Pimax's direct corroboration with Asobo. So I hope you guys have found this video insightful. I hope you have. I hope it did give you some hype. I hope it gives you some hype. I hope it gives you some hope. Okay, because that's what it did for me. Like, I was literally, when Sim Update 2 launched, and by the way, I'm very glad for everyone who had a flawless experience. When Sim Update 2 beta, when I was on the beta, it was great. It was wonderful. I had no issues. It wasn't this good, but it was good. And then when the release came, the day of release, I launched in. I was going to make the video, yay, it's here, and everything was crap for me. And then later that evening, Sim Update 3 beta installed for me, or became available, whatever you want to call it. And then everything was great again. And now it's the best that it has ever been. This is the best experience in 2024 or 2020 that I have had yet. Now, keep in mind, it's still just a default Cessna 172. It is a beta, so it's not going to be as busy as a public server. This isn't an A320 or a 737 or a 777 for that matter. So there's a lot of other variables that do still come into play, and I'm not forgetting that. I want to make that clear. But I love commercial aircraft. I love flying the big birds. I like the general aviation actually a whole lot better. And it's for doing things like we were just doing. I like to go fly around areas. I have avoided certain areas of the country and of the world because in 2020, even for me, they were just, it wasn't bad, but the experience was, there was enough points where you would get pulled out of that immersion. Where here, the entire flight was smooth as glass for me, and I really hope the VR performance on screen relayed that. So let me know what you guys think. Again, I really do hope this gave you hope, and I hope it gave you hype about Sim Update 3, because there's a lot of significant changes, and they all seem to be revolved around quality of life and just the overall interaction with the sim. And it's about time. That's all I can say is it's about time that quality of life and just the interaction with the simulator is being addressed, because it needed it. So to Asobo, great job. Stay on that path. I hope it continues down that road. As always, guys, let me know your thoughts below. Stay safe and healthy. You know the drill. See you in the next one.